Hello guys. Okay, so this is the 3rd of January afternoon session review, and just a couple of things to go through before we get started and looking at the strategy. It's 2019 now, so just needed to do a quick refresh on the page. So the DaxTrader.co.uk, just very slight difference now. The homepage has a more clearer menu at the top, so you've got links to the trading strategy up here, the signal history over here, and some of the DAX tools that I refer to in the videos, which will be up here, nice and easy to access. You can join the Telegram channel by clicking join the channel in this banner, and you've also got the normal links which we had before, and the articles which will be underneath. All right, so that is just a couple of things I needed to do to refresh the front page. Now, as far as trading went today, I had a pretty poor day. Didn't really enjoy today's trading. Had a string of stop losses, which is unfortunate, but it happens. We bought plenty of stop losses yesterday with our wins. Today we had to cash those in. So, hey, one of those things. What can you do? You just continue to move on. And tomorrow is a new day. Can't get too unhappy about stop losses. The same as you don't get too excited about the wins. So as far as the trading strategy goes, I make a lot of references to those during the videos. This is the link that you'd use to find more information about that on the homepage. All right. Okay, so as far as today goes for the day trading strategy, there were 3 trades that we made. We pretty much broke even on those. I've just clicked that signals page off the homepage there, and the first one you come to here are the signal results. So at the moment, we're running at a return of 61.3% since the 19th of November, which is where we started forward testing this strategy. And today we had 3 more DAX trades. The first 2 that we went off with were losers, and then we had a pretty decent win to finish off the session. So we're going to go and jump into those now and take a look at them. So let's just go and load up my chart real quick. Here we go. All right, so as far as the price action went today, I mean, I'll go through this in the morning as well, but we pretty much traded sideways for the first part of the session. Didn't really make that much progress into that gap at all. We had a double rejection here, and there was almost this opportunity where we had this triple or this double failure, and also there was an area here that was looking very, very similar, which was this one. One of those lines was clearly going to break. It turned out it broke to the downside. We also then had this area here which looked interesting, and we've got this AB equals CD type situation here with this measured move. There's your AB, that's your CD there. So when we got that measured move completion, it was right on the underside of this value area low here, and really interesting to see that that was the spot for the rejection for the move that we actually took a short to the downside on. So I was quite pleased with that. And we've also got another situation here where we're kind of building this very, very simple upsloping low to low trend line that could form some kind of center. So we'll keep an eye on that and see how it progresses. But more importantly, let's go over to the strategy. And so I've just got to update this one because this was my 3rd trade of the day, which was trade number 200. Not 120, but 200. Let's just keep that there, and let's just move that down. All right, so I've already done the morning session anyway, so that was all fine. So go through and take a look at that video later. When we were in the break, there were a couple of situations that were really interesting. There was this one here, which was a sell signal, and that would have actually done quite well if you'd have got in on this guy here, which is where it would have been. Stop loss up there. And that would have actually run through the deviation band, which is why the yellow candles show up. This is showing us that we're below the deviation low, which is extended warning. It means that it's oversold in this case. And just be aware of it. Manage your stop loss basically a little bit closely. And you would have got yourself out over here. So there would have been a bit of profit there. Now in this example, this was a buy signal, would have also been a bit of profit to be had there because you could have just continually trailed your stop loss behind this guy until around about there. I didn't take any of that because I don't trade in this grey area. This is my break away from the screens normally. And I kind of missed this guy, which was just before I got back to the screen, and that meant I wasn't really doing anything for the first kind of hour of trading, really. And it was at this stage I decided that I was going to be taking a bearish bias, so I ignored flat out that buy signal right there. Technically it's a valid signal, and you could have bought on that and put your stop loss underneath this guy, and you would have got in on this candle here, and it looks like you would have got out somewhere over here, probably when this candle closed here. Not a huge profit, but you know, certainly a little bit. But the one we took was this short, and simple signal, and we got in just underneath its open, stop loss above the previous stop, and then we were looking for 4 to 1, so it was a 31 point stop loss, and we were looking for 10,360, maybe ambitious. And there were a couple of hairy moments, because up here it started to threaten to take out or close above the super trend or the dynamic stop loss, and if it does that, I'd get out of the trade. But it didn't, and we were able to just watch it, and this candle pretty much took us into profit, and we were able to then start trailing the stop loss second shelf back. So by second shelf back, I mean that you're waiting for a couple of these to form and change, and then you can use the second one back. So if I just lock the screen up and come back and show this, I might have to zoom out a little bit further because we've got quite a bit of price action to remind ourselves of here. There you go. So as it starts to form this candle here, this would be our current stop loss, our current shelf. The second shelf back is the one previous to that. So you would then, new one formed here, that's the second shelf back there, or the second level back there. A new one forms, it's lower than the previous, so you could technically say that that's your second shelf back here, and you're just trailing it behind the second one, but second one back. So each time a new one forms, you trail behind the second one. And I'm pretty much doing that until I get a deviation warning candle, which is where it's a yellow candle, and you just continue trailing it down, and it works out quite nicely, and so on and so on. You get the idea. And I can't remember exactly when I got out of this trade, but I know that I got out a little earlier than I probably would normally have done so, and the reason being is just that I was looking at some of the other markets as well, and they were all starting to show signs of coming back out of a buy mode into a neutral mode. Let's just have a look at here. I got out of the trade at 1546. It was actually around about now, and you can see it yourself that the sell mode is the dark blue, and as soon as it comes out of that dark blue mode, it's kind of suggesting it's no longer in sell mode. So if you're being tight or conservative with the stop loss management, as soon as it flicks out of the sell mode, you can close your trade out if you want to. You don't have to, but I decided to do that. So I got out pretty much as soon as this started to suggest that it was turning, and got out at 428 was the exit. So we got about 1.8% on that trade, and we're pretty happy with it. And there was another opportunity to sell there, but of course it's the end of the day. I was quite happy to salvage a little bit from a very poor day, so I just decided to ignore the rest of that and close it down, shut it out. So yeah, a battle today. It's been hard work, but you know, some days are like that. Some days are a bit of a grind. Other days you can't really do any wrong. But the idea that we're really looking for at the moment is to break out of what seems to be the start of a consolidation phase on the DAX, and it's a pretty big consolidation. If we have a look at a 60-minute chart here, you can see that you've got this compression pattern starting to form, and the longer that stays like this, the worse this strategy will perform. So a little bit concerned about that, but we'll just keep an eye on it and see what happens tomorrow. So yeah, that is us done. So that's the updates on the website, and that is the strategy for today. If you want more information on that, now the links are easier to find on the website, so go and help yourself to check that out. Have a good evening, and enjoy the time away from the screens, and we'll see you again in the morning. Take care.